If I were to ask you what are the components for a highly productive work team, what would they be? Whenever you come and you ask TGG that from a management consulting standpoint, we're going to communicate 5 items. And so what I'm going to do now is just talk about, what are the 5 components that we implement for you and your work team in order to really maximize your execution and focus on your customer. The first one is some sort of a strategic alignment. We typically use an X matrix. This called Hoshin planning or policy deployment, some different names, but we actually want to have written on a piece of paper the annual improvement priorities, and then most importantly, what are the leaders' names that are actually focused on that. It's kind of like a checkbook. We look at our expenses, look at how much cash we have, and a lot of times where we come in to do consulting, you have a very, very few number of the leaders doing the majority of the amount of the work in the projects. And so that's one of the things that the X matrix does. The second one that we really recommend is daily management. Tool has been around for a very, very long time. It is typically tracked hour by hour. Doesn't matter if it's insurance or if it's in a transactional environment. We want to actually track planned to actual completion, hour by hour. When you have big projects like design and engineering, we'll actually recommend a team use a planned percent complete, like green and red, and that's it. Are we on plan, or have we fallen back into firefighting? The third component is really that we recommend is standardized tasks, and in that we typically use Outlook, Microsoft Outlook. We'll typically define what the work instructions are for an associate or for someone on a team, deliver that to you in your inbox, and then that way the task is stored in a database. We can show you how to use Power BI to actually graphically show progress of a work team. Works really, really well. The fourth component is leader standard work, and this typically relates to how much time are you going to designate to your personnel to get things done. And this is a question that I rarely find teams being able to answer. I'll go into a work office and I'll say, how many people are needed to actually perform this function? And they usually act like that's an impossible question. And so what we like to do is actually have planned amount of work hours associated with the work task. So whether it's manning the phones, whether it's doing research, whether it's new product development, we want to kind of define how many man hours are required for that and then build a manning plan behind that. And that's whenever it comes into your standard meetings, into some of your standard work tasks that relate to leader standard work. Very, very powerful tool. We have one template on our website. There are many, many templates to use. The last one is really that verification. We at TGG talk a lot about process confirmation audits. This one shouldn't be intimidating, and it's not at all, shouldn't be threatening at all. But we actually extract your email and we extract your calendar events. We don't care about your personal email at all, but we're trying to actually look at last week, how many meetings were you in, and then what the category for those meetings are, and then how many emails did you send and what category were those. If I can get that category, now I've got a data tag and I can measure that to planned. So for example, if we said, we've got 10 hours a week that we want to focus on sales, if we actually extract last week and we get 2, then great, we could actually apply PDCA, make some improvements to be able to improve that actual to the target next week. So again, very, very, very powerful tool. I've worked with a lot of work teams. We've seen very, very small teams, 6, 8, 10 people, sending over 30,000 emails a month to each other. Happens very, very routinely. So we start reducing those email lists, start doing more face-to-face meetings. And again, if we can get the data, we can pretty much solve anything that doesn't relate to physics. So if you want more information, please contact us. We will help you go to the next level with your work team.